people who are looking at us in a certain light that's not as positive as we'd like. And in many ways, by creating a Facebook page that's open to learners from other countries, we can be goodwill ambassadors. Are we ready? Okay. Well, welcome to Promoting the Value of Learning and Knowledge Through Your Own Facebook Page. I'm Ioan Elvis Sersea. MA stands for Masters of Arts in English, MAP, Masters of Arts in Teaching and Learning. My email is maestrosersea@gmail.com. If you have any questions after this, my voicemail is 661-524-8119. And you can see my Facebook page, my Facebook account. I have two of them. And I really strongly suggest you have a personal Facebook account and a business Facebook account. That's especially if you decide you want to have a group. Because if you have a group which is more interactive than a page, then you'll be getting messages all the time when you're in your personal account. So it's better if you have two of them and you separate business and pleasure. And then I have a LinkedIn account as well. If you'd like to connect, I connect with a lot of interesting people in the online learning field. And I would love to be part of your group. So educators can use the transformative power of social media to promote learning, academic knowledge, and collaboration among current and potential students as well as learners from other countries in order to become goodwill ambassadors of positive change and help redefine the internet. Now we look at the internet, we see a lot of Kardashians, we see a lot of things that our teenagers or young people are looking at, and we say as educators, what can we do? Are we just going to let that side of the internet grow bigger and bigger and bigger, more and more popular, or can we do something ourselves to shift the balance? So hopefully you will gain some useful tips for creating, updating, and maintaining no-cost Facebook pages to share news, research activities, and encourage online participation and collaboration among current students as well as interested learners from across the globe. And here are some more background and information, introduction about me. I earned a master's certificate in Internet Marketing from University of San Francisco. I strongly encourage it. It's a 6-month intensive program. It helps you see how the Internet marketing gurus work. And if you're helping your institution become more popular, this is a great program. It's the best $6,000 you can invest. I've earned both my master's degrees online because I was a full-time teacher. I have experience at the middle school, high school, and college levels teaching online. Been a webmaster and promoter of numerous educational sites. Currently have about 300 domains. I have about 1,250,000 international followers on Facebook and personal sites, and I have been offering online English lessons and activities to international English learners in the tens of thousands. And that's one thing that you want to do with your Facebook page. You don't just want to post on your Facebook page. You want to use it as a platform to engage your students, but also to get them to sign on to your newsletters. And as you have newsletters, you can post activities, and we'll go into that. And then you don't depend on Facebook anymore to have your own community. You will have your own community outside of Facebook, and that's what you want to do. I'm a part-time graduate level online instructor for University of Phoenix, an online charter school teacher, and an ESL evening instructor for School of Continuing Education, North Orange County Community College District, and I'm the founder of a small educational company called Teach Me, Help Me Educational Services. So one of the things I'm most proud of is a few years ago when I was working on developing my pages, Facebook gave me a boost. I got a $10,000 award for 1 of 10 in free advertising. And that really helped me move and get a lot more followers. There are a lot of opportunities out there for you to increase that. My page was gaining momentum, so I was getting a lot of followers. So they looked over a period of 4 months, and my page was one of the strongest, highest growing, fastest growing pages. But it was a variety of things. I was advertising it. I was promoting it. I was heavily posting on it. So as more people click like, their friends click like, and it was kind of a snowball effect. And this is for my English Online Academy page. It's one of the largest pages for English learners. Right now it's close to 600,000 followers. Okay, so here are some quotes to think about as we begin. We will create a civilization of the mind in cyberspace. May it be more humane and fair than the world your governments have made before. And this is by John Perry Barlow, a declaration of the independence of cyberspace. What is your concept of the internet? Is it an intellectually liberating platform? Can it be? Or should it just be a entertainment platform, just like television, unfortunately, has become, and radio and everything else? Here's what Bill Clinton wrote. Advances in computer technology and the internet have changed the way America works, learns, and communicates. The internet has become an integral part of America's economic, political, and social life. And that's here. But you know, we have, as teachers, we have a moral obligation in a way to, as intellectuals, we have a moral obligation to our society and societies around the world to enlighten, to help, to support, and not to sit back and go quiet.
So maybe what you're saying is unknowable to animals as well. Because others come on Facebook, those are there who have no enlightenment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they have to see this happen where it is an exchange of ideas, it is a thoughtful, lustful experience rather than just
Exactly. It can be both fun, exciting, and intellectual at the same time. The concept I don't think I coined it, but I like to use all the time is edu-social, educational and social, put in one. So the internet is the first thing that humanity has built that humanity doesn't understand, the largest experiment in anarchy that we ever had. And this is from Eric Schmidt, the former CEO of Google. So that's deep. Okay, the largest experiment in anarchy that we have ever had. And again, think of our responsibility as teachers and what we can do, what light we can share. in this darkness. And to further the trend, here's a quote by the world-famous Marilyn Manson. The internet is a trailer park for the soul. Okay? Now, he could be right. Alexa is one of the biggest web information companies out there, and it analyzes the biggest trends on the internet. And just on the 17th of this month, here is what Alexa listed as the top trending topics. Hoffa remains, Bear Moles Man, driving directions, Chicago Blackhawks, girl games, MapQuest, Burmese Classic, Miss USA, Kim and Kanye's baby, Southwest, Blake Griffin Lakers, Gmail, Kim Kardashian baby, 7-Eleven rage, Bruins, Henry Cavill, Webkins, Social Security, NHL, and Breaking Amish. How many intellectual topics do you see here? How many topics that can really improve somebody's life? Maybe, I don't know, maybe Gmail, I don't know. But it's something to think about, because we do see a lot of this. We do see this balance tipped in this direction, and we can just shrug on our shoulders and say, well, you know, that's the way it is, but we can do something about it. Here's the Dalai Lama. He uses Facebook in an unbelievable way. I mean, he has millions and millions of followers, and he has webcasts. Wherever he goes, there are pictures associated. There are daily quotes of peace and the importance of positive interaction and understanding. Here is a picture that he shared. In 9 hours, he had 58,320 likes, 1,000 comments, and 6,500 shares. Okay? So it's something to think about, whether you're Buddhist or not Buddhist. It's something to really look at and say, you know, if he could do it, what can I do? And there are educational pages out there. There's NASA, you know, with over 2 million pages. Here's my English Online Academy page. And there's a picture of me and my son. He's actually my assistant. He is the assistant English instructor at English Online Academy. He's 10 years old. When he was 8, he created about 100 YouTube videos on English pronunciation and questions for English learners, and we've been sharing them all along. See, one thing that really works with Facebook is that you are as personal as possible. If you just put a page in there and you are just an institution, it won't work. You have to be connected somehow on a personal basis. So you have to start asking yourself some questions. And I know some of you have already started your pages, and this may be irrelevant, but we could always trace back our steps. Why does internet usage need to shift towards the meaningful and educational? What is your answer for that? Why is it important to share your knowledge with others online? Why is your subject area of interest important? So before creating a Facebook page, brainstorming is very important. Why should I do it? Why do I want to do it? You really have to answer that question. If you don't know, don't do it. Just take the time and figure out, why do you want to do it? What will it be about? How and when to do it. Focus on one page and make it successful. Don't spread yourself too thin by creating more than one page at the beginning. I did that. I'm paying the price. Okay? When I had the $10,000 in free advertising, I had 50 pages. So I started advertising all 50 pages. Only towards the end did I say, oh, I see the lights. I should have been focusing just on one page. If I would have advertised just English Online Academy, that would have been the top page for English learners on Facebook by now. But I spread myself too thin. I mean, I have pages from Hear My Faith on different religions with over 50,000 followers to tourism web tools where I offer platforms for tourism operators and people who want to share beautiful pictures of their countries. Everything that I've ever been passionate about, I created a page. But time is limited. And that's a very good question, actually, because Facebook hurts you. The less often you update your page, the less people will get to see your posts. And in the first place, Facebook is a bit on the tricky side because, yes, you may have, like me, almost 600,000 followers, but when you put a post on your page, a very small percentage of those people will ever get to see that post. So in order to reach as many people as possible, you need to post often. So at least once or twice a week, I would say. At least.
When you say advertise, you mean like you're on Facebook, there's ads on the right hand side?
Yes.
And so that's how you advertise your English Academy?
Yes. Yes, and I'll show you how I did that. There's some slides in there in a short while. What areas of expertise do you have? What are you most passionate about? What would you like to teach and share with others online? How can you incorporate your hobbies to help your Facebook page be more engaging? So I learned English as a third language after Romanian and French, and I've been an ESL teacher here in the States. But in Romania, in the 70s, I was in a music school. So I love music. And my middle name being Elvis, I also like singing Elvis karaoke, of course. So I incorporated my hobby of music with learning English and created some pages where I'm grabbing videos from YouTube with English lyrics. And students love it. I mean, when I share videos of music and I say, okay, if I'm going to see 100 likes in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to post 5 new music videos with English lyrics. That is free advertising. Because when they click on like, their friends see the like, you have more followers. But at the same time, what do? They get to sing along with the text. So there's your practice, your pronunciation practice. There's your reading comprehension, and there's your comfort zone. With English, you're more comfortable. Learning a language is very emotional. If you're connected emotionally, you really get it. What are your short-term and long-term goals for your Facebook page? Is it just to have something to do, or is it something for the long term? Go big or go small? I would like to go big. I would like to say that 10 years from now, I'm going to have millions of followers, and I'll be able to promote on-site workshops in different parts of the world, and give 5-day reading comprehension workshops in Bali, Indonesia. or 5-day pronunciation workshops in Kabul, Afghanistan, and promote it through my pages and have students already there waiting for me for my presentations. That's my big goal. And in the meanwhile, why not have fun and build this community? So it's up to you what you want to do with your Facebook page. So who would you like to reach the most? Why? Who can benefit the most from what you have to offer? Okay? When you advertise your ESL page, your English learners page, don't you think it would be wonderful for students from India, students from Pakistan, students from Philippines, students from poorer parts of the world to have access to this? That's my thoughts. Who else do you know who can assist, collaborate with you? That's partnerships. I've connected with a number of partners, and every once in a while I share some of their content. So time management and effective use. When will you get started? When can you dedicate time to research new material and information as well as interact with page members? Do you have the time management skills to do it? Can you put in 15, 20 minutes a day to research information and post it on your pages? What is the usual time when most of your online followers, students, log on Facebook and read posts online? If you have a lot of followers from the Middle East or North Africa like I do, Asia, time is totally different. So when I'm online at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, that's usually when most of the people are online. That's when most of the activity takes place. But if I post in the afternoon, it's not as active, okay? So if you have mostly students from the States, probably evenings are the best. Yeah?
That's actually a question for the online audience.
Oh, okay.
Emily from blended school so they teach high school online. I found that a good third of my kids aren't on or don't use Facebook, sort of like it's not that cool anymore. Do you see a trend towards other forms?
Well, I've always really been interested in 3D worlds. And I know that we're still far from, well, we're not that far, but Second Life is one of my passions. I think that if they can make it faster and more accessible, it'll be more used by our students. I see kids like my son's age, he's 10, and he's into Minecraft. And Minecraft is very interactive. And some teachers are already using Minecraft to create those, you know, to build and to interact and to teach. So I think 3D environments are really the way of the future, where you really immerse yourself. Harvard University, many universities already have their 3D universities online. So I really think that's the future, but we definitely need to get faster internet and cheaper access for people all over the world. I hope that answers the question. Okay, so how are you going to share your knowledge and expertise with the world? Do you have a domain name, hosting account, and website to post most of your relevant materials? Is your website based on an easy-to-update platform such as WordPress or Moodle? Do you have a Twitter account to link to your Facebook page? Are you using email marketing software? Email marketing software is key. Facebook, I love Facebook to death, but here today, it might be gone tomorrow. You want to eventually build your own communities. And to build your own communities, you need students' emails. But you can't just ask for them. You have to offer something. You might offer online lessons via email, okay? And if you have email marketing software, you can design lessons, put activities which automatically get sent to your students when they sign up for them, okay? And that's something to invest in. I know that if you were to do, there's one resource that you can actually get for free for up to 2,000 signups, and I'll share that with you in a bit. So how will you advertise your services? How will you monetize your efforts? It costs money to advertise. Will you just be your bank? You know I spent a lot of my own money on this, but again, remember, I have the big plans for the future. This is my plan B. After I want to retire early, hopefully. How often will you access, measure, and act upon metrics and demographics? What does that mean? You need to know who your followers are, how old they are, where they live. And once you know that, you know what type of information you might want to share, okay? That's important. I have a lot of followers from Turkey. So I've been sharing news from Turkey in English, and I've been getting a lot of positive responses on that. So it helps to know who your audience is. How and how often will you interact with your audience? One big problem that Facebook is in it for the money. Let's face it. No pun intended. They don't want to use their servers that much, and they're not going to let you have access to all your followers every time you post a post. If you're going to put a link inside your post, I'll give you an example. The same post, I put the link inside to another website. I got 1,000 people watching that post. I wrote the same post again, and I said, please click on the link in the comment section. 20 times more. 20,000 people saw that same post. So if you write posts, just texts, that's great. You're going to have a lot of interaction. But if you write posts and you put a link in there, Facebook doesn't seem to want you to go outside of Facebook. They want to keep you. So you have to figure out ways to go around that. So because my aim is to get my page to have as many followers as possible, I haven't really made it as interactive as I could have. But I do make a point of making specific posts every day, asking questions like, how's your day going? How are you feeling? What are you doing this weekend? And when you put something like that, you see a lot of interaction. So Facebook pages. Everything you do on Facebook starts with your page. Facebook groups are great. I love Facebook groups. I have a Facebook group, but you can't advertise them, and they're not going to grow that big. And if you want to spend 10 times more time and efforts on Facebook, then get a Facebook group, and you'll find yourself very, very busy with that group, but it's going to have very few students. If you want to really grow big, really go big, you need to have a Facebook page. Okay?
Say I'm teaching a class, an online class, and I basically I teach, and then it's a good benefit of having a Facebook group that might with a link from my class to the Facebook group for my students to be able to interact with each other on that group. Even if I was one who was doing that makes sense to try to create a community within the class.
Yeah, I think with a group you could just for your class. If you just wanted to do it for your class, it could be a closed group. It could be something that you have to approve the students to join the group. If you want something open that other people from around the world can access your resources, the page would be a better bet. Okay? If you want to have it closed, if you want to have more interaction, a group is better. But if you want to have something that anybody can access, pages.
I want to do things as a way to facilitate discussion, involvement, even something that even when the students are kind of going through this generation of using Facebook, so I want to do that, I want to do my Instagram. But I still feel like Facebook is not a lot more than that.
Yeah.
So I want to create a whole page, but I want to connect with me and my own personal page, because I don't do this, they don't want to be my friends. That's like the reason I'm talking to them.
And another good thing about pages that you don't have on groups. On groups, whenever you're posting as yourself. On pages, whenever you're posting as the page. Okay? So they don't know who you are, in a way, when you're posting as a page. Yes, they post as themselves, but you post as the page. When you're posting in a group, you're posting as yourself. So you might have a lot of, that's why it might be better to have two different accounts on Facebook. I have one, Ioan Elvis Sersea, for my close friends and family, and I have another one, Maestro Sersea, for my students. And I use the Maestro Sersea mostly to interact with students. That one is an account, but I have a group, English Online Academy group, and I have a page, English Online Academy page. Okay, so here's how you create a page. You go to this site, create a Facebook page, facebook.com pages create. You go to this site, and you have to choose local business or place, company, organization, or institution, brand or product, artist, band, or public figure, entertainment, cause, or community. What is your site going to be about? Remember, we already brainstormed. We know everything we want to do. So you have to identify the title and type of page. Here are two choices you might want to take. One of these. You might want to brand or product page. Let's say you have a website already. I created a page just for you, okay, a couple of days ago, called Erase Corruption. You know, it's one of the things that I'm passionate about. I think that corruption is the root of all evil, and if we can eradicate it or limit it, we can have a better world. So you can have a website, or you could have a cause or community. I selected cause or community. Then you have to add a description. So I wrote an online platform for people from all over the world to realize the negative effects of corruption and wish to disrupt it on a local and global level. I already purchased a domain name and created a site called erasecorruption.org. Then you add a profile picture. Find a public domain picture. Wikimedia.org has lots of pictures. You can, MediaWiki.org. And I found this, which is symbolic of good versus evil. So you add your profile picture, and welcome to your new Facebook page. What do you do next? Obviously, you write your first post. Welcome to Erase Corruption, an international online platform for all who realize the negative effects of corruption and wish to disrupt it on a local and global level. Okay. Now, one thing that you might want to do to save some time is to use some automatic page post tools. Okay? If you have a website, if you have a, my favorite is WordPress. You can actually get your posts to automatically go into your Facebook page. If you have Twitter, you can have your posts from Twitter go automatically into your Facebook page. You can even time them. So you can even do it from Facebook. You can, oh my God, sorry. Okay. Okay. So you can even do from Facebook. You can plan out when you're going to have your posts shown. So you don't have to sit there at certain times and do it. You can plan it out. Let's say you have a half an hour on Sunday. You can do the whole week ahead of schedule. Okay? So how can you make your page more successful? Provide short, clear, and easy to understand posts. Use and create multimedia. Videos, photos, audio files really help. Facebook, YouTube. EduShare is my version of YouTube. I have my own site where you can use your webcam and instantly create videos and post them online. Create screencast audio-video tutorials. Camtasia, Screencast-O-Matic. I love Screencast-O-Matic. You can do tutorials and share them with students. I have a page that includes a 150,000-word English dictionary, and on that same page, so students know how to use it, I put a video tutorial from Screencast-O-Matic. So that really comes in handy. Create strategic, professional, and collaborative partnerships. You know, there are many companies out there that would love to promote their content, and you can work with them if it really works in your favor. Link to engaging academic web tools and resources, and evoke audience response. So you were saying about how do you get your students more involved. Put some intriguing posts in there, some prompts. Let them know in class that every week there's going to be a prompt on Monday or Wednesday that you would like them to participate in, to respond to. Let them know that you're going to show a video that relates to the lesson that you just gave, and that you want them to add comments after they click on the link and see the video. So they go in there, and this way they see each other's comments. It really constructive theory at its best. Okay, so provide meaningful content. Here are two examples. I created lessons for English learners via my page, English Online Academy, and I would put links. Not only would I email those lessons to students who signed up, but I would also put the lessons on the website and then put a link of the lesson on Facebook. So students from Facebook would actually get to learn as well. Again, all those English pronunciation videos that I was telling you about, the ones that my 10-year-old son, my 8-year-old son at that time created, they really helped to build that kind of a family culture for the page. The page wasn't just a cold, dark English language learning environment, but it was a warm, welcoming, family-oriented, international, engaging opportunity for students from cultures from all over the world to actually interact and learn. So here I posted a link to in the second screenshot here. I actually added a link to the page because oftentimes we don't have our students going directly to our page. They go into the post that they see on their screen. So we need to constantly re-engage them to visit the page directly. Okay? Encourage collaboration. This is from my tourism web tools page. Now, it's been a dream of mine to travel all over the world and also to help those from different countries to share the beauty of their countries with others in a positive, collaborative way. So here is from here are a couple of, if you want to go to East Africa and see gorilla tours, see safaris. Okay, Sri Lanka. This is from Sri Lanka. So people, it becomes a kind of a snowball effect. You offer something, you engage people, and then people start bringing their own materials with them. So it kind of becomes self-sustaining after a while. You have to put in the elbow grease to get it started, but eventually a community starts taking care of itself. So connect yourself with community members. You need to establish yourself as an expert in the field. If you're going to be doing a page on English, obviously it helps when you're an English teacher, not an English learner. Show interest, ask questions, and use polls. Polls are always helpful. Facebook has polls. One of my pages, studentswebtools.com, I have a poll creation and hosting service that I use from time to time, and I put polls in there. Create and share a calendar of online events, Google Calendar. I have my own calendar hosting and creation service at schoolswebtools.com. Offer live events, webinars, chat, Skype, Second Life, on-site. And I offer my own online audio-video chat rooms. I have conference rooms that I offer as well via my site, educhat.us. Use a positive, enthusiastic tone. Be transformative, not transactional. Now, what does that mean? Transformative. How can we change? How can we improve? Not, here's your change, at the supermarket. How can we, sometimes just saying thank you or smiling or saying how are you doing today can brighten somebody's day. How can we brighten somebody's life? Show a charismatic personality and engagement. Respond to comments kindly, warmly, quickly, and clearly. So here are some examples of member engagement. On the left, you could see just members posting. I like this. I like very much to learning English because I want to speak this language. And these are people from Africa who are learning English, but they're comfortable enough to share their excitement about learning English with the world. And then on the right, you actually see people reaching out to other people, members reaching out to other members to create friendships, to create interactions. And that's what you want to see. In your pages, you might want to ask them, put a prompt in there where you say, why don't you start see who wants to work with you, or start groups that you can begin working with. Students might create their own groups on Facebook to study together. Okay? Offer interaction opportunities. Here's a post I put. It's Wednesday, the 12th of June, 2013. Are you having a good day so far? Tell us about it by writing a comment below. And this is for English learners. And 18,504 people saw this post. There was no link there. If there would have been a link, less people would have. But there were 37 likes and there were 14 comments. Use metrics for effectiveness. So you want to be effective. You want to know, are people clicking on the links? Are people visiting your sites? Are people engaging, yes or no? So URL shorteners, they're good because they shorten big website names. But they're also good because you can actually see who clicked on the link, where they are from, when they clicked on the link, and how many people clicked on the link. And that's important to realize if you're really getting better from last month and the previous month and so forth. Yes. Okay, so you go to a website like Bitly, Google, or my very own site, urlj.us. You type in a long website address, and it makes it shorter. Now, if you have an account with that site, whenever you type in the address, it keeps track of who clicked on that link. So you can actually see a graph that tells you how many times that website has been accessed. So whenever you post a link, whether you send it by email or you put it on a Facebook post, you get to see how many times it was accessed, when it was accessed, who accessed it. Okay? Web page analytics, Google Analytics, Sersea Biz, that's one of my sites. I also have a site analysis service. But Google Analytics, it's great because, again, you see how your page is performing. You see how often people are coming in and interacting with your page. Sites with counters and like buttons. Digitalsocialite.org is one of my sites. But you can actually, if you have a WordPress site, you can actually get plugins that allow for Facebook likes or Twitter. So you can actually post it on Twitter, share it with your fans on Twitter, share it with your fans on Facebook. One of my pages, English Online Academy, actually has a link, has 8,500 likes. So that tells me that I'm doing well there. Facebook Insights, it gives you a page overview, users and interactions. So here, for example, you can look at the Facebook metrics, okay, and you can see, I can see that it's getting better. I can see that there, whenever you see a green arrow, that means that from one week to the next, there are more and more followers, and that there's more and more. Yes, it's in there. Okay, you also get demographics. You get to see the gender and the age of the students. Notice that most of my students are under 24. And if you look at the countries, Indonesia, 60,000, Pakistan, 50,000, Egypt, 47,000, Algeria, 42,000, Iraq is getting up there, Afghanistan is getting up there. I can see the top cities, the top languages, it's telling me how who is accessing my pages, and I can do something about it. So promote in multimedia, promote in school publications, promote in your classroom, promote your page in your classroom, promote it in your website, promote it to your students, and do paid advertising. So you can go to facebook.com ads to create your Facebook ad. Okay, you can create an ad. I created an ad for Erase Corruption. I clicked on Get More page likes. I typed the text, an online platform for people from all over the world who want to erase corruption. Yes, but just a sec. Okay, what happened here? Okay, okay. You can make ads for international audience as little as 1 cent a click. So think about for the price of a couple of coffees, my page now has over 300 followers. Okay, so if you think it's important to you, then you put your money where your mouth is, right? So I put in some countries here that have a lot of corruption, like Iraq, Greece, Portugal. Yes.
I just want to make sure I can provide information.
Yeah.
So if I put my credit card at the end of the month, however many clicks, so then I can charge, like is there a certain cap that you would be like, okay,
You can put a cap.
but not that many?
I put a cap of $1 a day or $5 a day.
Okay.
And I put a cap on how much I want to pay maximum per click, which is 1 cent. Okay, so here I put the countries I wanted to advertise to, and I know they have problems with corruption. Then I put $1 per day, and I put 1 cent per click. Okay, even though suggested bid is 9 cents a click, Facebook wants to make money. Remember that. You go with the lowest denominator. Okay. So here are some additional resources that you can look at. Low price domain and site setup. You want to have your own domain name. You don't want to just depend on Facebook. You want to have your own site. You want people from Facebook to come to your site, sign up, become members. You can even have your free site from Blogger or WordPress. Okay? If you want to advertise, you can advertise through Google AdWords, Facebook. Here are some metrics: advertising, sites, email marketing services, MailChimp.com. Whatever you do, if you want to just try it out, go to MailChimp. Up to 2,000 people. You can send newsletters to up to 2,000 people for free. Okay? Up to 12,000 outgoing messages in 1 month for free. Try it out. You can always download the list of people who signed up. Free ebooks, free and low-cost conferencing, online education resources. Here is an article, How to Link Facebook to Twitter. If you don't know, that's a must. You really want to do that. And also, it kind of goes both ways. When you type on Facebook, it goes into Twitter. When you type into Twitter, it goes onto Facebook. Twitter feed and RSS graffiti are great because they can help you. If you can find, it can save you a lot of time. If you can find articles or news sources with real simple syndication, they can automatically be posted on your Facebook page. So, for example, if you can search for the term corruption. Anytime news with corruption shows up, it's going to be shown on your page. Erase corruption, right? And I hope you join Erase Corruption and see how I'm doing it. and visit the website as well, erasecorruption.org. If you have WordPress, I suggest you get WordPress WPMU multi-site development. It's a great investment. You get premium plugins and premium service so that you can make your site the best. Okay, for a few $100s a year, it's one of the best investments you can make if you want to have a professional site with the best possibilities. Well, thank you very much for joining me. If you have any questions, please contact me, and I'd be happy to answer any further questions. Thank you for being here. Let me give you a round of applause.